Today I am going to talk to you about 5 very important things that I think you need to know before you go to Alaska. And if you've been to Alaska before, don't click out. I've got lots to tell you. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips, and today is Tuesday. It is May 21st of 2024, and so far this year I am hearing that the Alaska season is off to a wonderful start. I have heard from people sailing on other cruise lines, lots of input coming in, and they're having a marvelous time. As I consider what you need to know before you go to Alaska, there are some things right at the very top of the list that come to my mind. So in the coming days I'll be talking to you about it a little bit more, but I want you to have these things in your mind as you prepare to go if you've already got that cruise booked, and some things to keep in mind if you're looking at going to Alaska. Alrighty? Now those of you that have been to Alaska before or many times, I am relying on you to add things in the comments that have escaped me, that I haven't thought of right off, that need more explanation, just anything that you have learned in going to Alaska that would help someone else. That's why we have our channel here, and it takes all of us together. So the very first thing that comes to my mind when I think of going to Alaska is to pack for the weather, and then don't let the weather bother you. Now, it does not matter if you go in some of the cruise lines start in April, May, June, July, August, September. Norwegian goes clear into October, and it doesn't matter when you go, there is going to be variable weather. You cannot always plan the weather based on when you go. Sometimes you're going to have a week that is beautifully sunny the entire time. You're going to have a week that it rains the whole time. So the key is to go prepared, and then don't let the weather get you down. Alrighty? When we went last year at the end of May, it rained the entire week, and it just didn't rain. It poured quite a bit, and it didn't bother us though, because we were ready for it. Of course, I would have rather had sunny days, but we thoroughly enjoyed our trip, and we didn't let the weather get us down. The key to being prepared for the weather in Alaska is truly 2 things. Number 1, layers, and number 2, thinking about what you're going to do with that rain and how to prepare. So first of all, I did a quick video the last time we were there about dressing in layers, so here it is. So I just wanted to show you, here we are in Alaska, and I just wanted to show you really quick what layering can do for you. So we are going to get off and go on our excursion, and it's really chilly outside. It's also been raining a lot. And so I just wanted to show you, you can do this a couple of ways. Today, with how the weather is, I decided to do my layers this order, but I could do them in another order if I wanted. So let me show you. So this is my puffer coat. It goes all the way up, and it has a hood, okay? So that's what I have on right here. Then underneath it, this is my waterproof windbreaker. It breathes, and so it's not the plasticky kind that you sweat in if it warms up a little bit, or if you're hiking or walking a lot, it breathes. So it works really, really nice. It does have a hood as well, and so if you're out and about, it'll you can fasten it and keep yourself dry. So then my next layer is my fleece jacket here. I have a couple of these that I really like. This is one that I got on Amazon. It zips up. I have another one that I like even better. So I'm on a lookout for the perfect one. The other one I have is a pullover, and it has the buttons right here, and it has a hood. So this one that I got on Amazon is perfect in every way except for it doesn't have a hood. And I haven't found a really good quality one yet with a hood that I like, and so I'm looking for that, because the key is not only for it to have the hood and be fleece that's warm, but you also want it thin enough that it's really warm, but it's also a really good layer, because if it's super bulky, then it's hard to put under things. So that's this layer. And then the next layer that I have here is my cardigan sweater, because I just like cardigans an awful lot, but this could be a flannel shirt, It could be a really thin fleece jacket. It could be just like a long sleeve, any kind of shirt that you wanted it to be. It could be a pullover long sleeve t-shirt. You just need long sleeves. And then underneath this, I just have on a black short sleeve. This is a Land's End t-shirt underneath it. It's too cold to take it off. And so I've got short sleeves. And so if it was a day that it suddenly got much warmer, I would be able to take off my sweater and still be really comfortable. So there is layering 101 for you. And then I've got a hat to take along to pull down over my ears if it's really cold. And I've got my umbrella as well. The nice thing about having the layers that are waterproof is that if you're in a crowded area and it's hard to have your umbrella up, or if it's just misting, sometimes it's misting, and so you want to be waterproof, but it's not exactly raining hard enough to need to worry about an umbrella. Alrighty, I forgot to show you a couple of things. So you always want to have a scarf. Always, always, always. All right, even if it's warm in port and you're out moving through the water later, you're going to need a scarf. And so there's lots of ways to tie a scarf, and lots of different kinds of scarf. You can bring a fleece one or a pretty one, whatever you'd like, but bring a scarf. And here's the hat. This is the kind of hat you just put it on and see, it's really cozy over your ears and very snug. So that's a nice thing to take. And then I just wanted to show you, they have travel umbrellas that are really small. And so this will just go in my bag that I take. I have a waterproof bag, and I just will put this in there and I'll be ready to go. So here. So when you think of layers, like I said in my video, start out with something short-sleeved, because sometimes you're going to have unseasonably warm weather. Sometimes in the middle of the summer, it can be really warm when you're in port. When you're out back on the ship, you're moving through the water, it's going to feel chillier, even if it is a warmer day. And then sometimes you're going to go and it's going to just be chilly. It's going to be cold. When you're going through Glacier Bay, it's going to be chillier, usually even if it's a sunny day in the middle of the summertime. So take a short sleeve shirt, then your next layer is going to be a long sleeve shirt, a cardigan, whatever you like for your next layer. Then you're maybe going to want to put on a fleece jacket, a sweatshirt, something else, and then have a coat with you, all right, so that you can be sure to be warm enough. Even those of you that don't live in a cold climate the rest of the year, you can pick up like a puffer jacket very inexpensively, either on Black Friday sales or on Amazon. There are lots of different places to get really inexpensive coats these days. Now, so you think of your layers. The other key is to be prepared for the weather. Now, the weather, you're going to want to take an umbrella, but sometimes based on where you are, you're not going to necessarily want to have your umbrella up. So it's important to take a waterproof jacket with you that has a hood. So if you're somewhere where it's too tight, too many people just in a group to be able to put up your umbrella, or you're hiking through the forest, you have got a jacket to put up. The best ones that I have seen that are waterproof and they breathe, so it's not like you're just in a plastic bag, would be through Eddie Bauer. Those are the best ones. If anybody has other suggestions, put those below. I'm going to link some things for you in the description box as well. But we love Eddie Bauer. I have an Eddie Bauer jacket I take everywhere with me when we travel, and it does just that. It keeps me dry, it breathes, it's perfect. So really and then just don't let the weather get you down. Just carry on with everything that you have got planned and go and enjoy what you do. You're going to find that most of the excursions will still go. There are a few that the weather will end up canceling, like if there's not enough visibility and the conditions are that poor, they'll have to cancel some of the plane rides, some of the helicopter rides. Other than that, most things go. If you've got a whale watching excursion, they're going to take you in the rain, so don't worry about that. You'll still get to go. The next thing that is really important to know about Alaska is go outside. Now, I know that we have a lot of people that go to Alaska for their very first cruise, and I think going to Alaska on your first cruise is absolutely wonderful. That's where we went on our first cruise and enjoyed every single moment of it. But a really important thing to remember is go outside. You're going to get on the ship, and even if you've been on lots of cruises, you get on the ship and the ship is beautiful. There are so many things to see. They've got so many activities going on. There are so many places to eat. It's just like, how am I going to get all of this experienced in a week? And then you forget what's outside. So as you sail away out of Seattle, if you're leaving from there, the scenery is going to be beautiful. It's beautiful to see Seattle as you leave, and then some beautiful scenery. And then after a while, you'll be far enough out to sea that you really won't be seeing much for a bit. But the next day, you're going to start to see some beautiful scenery, and it starts out usually on the starboard side as you're heading north on the right hand side of the ship. So don't miss that. Go outside. If you're doing an activity, then go outside and see what's going on out there. As the further north you go, the more there is to see. And there is a lot more wildlife. They will have a naturalist on board, and they will be outside, so you will have someone out there to help you spot wildlife. There is so much to see. I know there are eagles, there are otters, there are sea lions and seals. Sometimes you're lucky and see a bear on the shore. There are whales. There's just so much to see, all these different kind of birds. And so don't just stay inside. Make sure that you're outside a lot, and make sure that you take the advantage of, if you have a balcony, go up on the top and enjoy the whole view. There are a lot of times that you're sailing not only in Glacier Bay, but in other regions that you want to be up on the top to experience it all. I think a lot of sailing in and out of Skagway, it is breathtakingly beautiful there. So it's a wonderful place to be up on the top deck. We always try to do sail away up there from there. Just don't miss being outside as much as you can. And if you're really enjoying what's going on inside the ship, don't forget, like I said, to go outside, because if you don't, you're going to miss out. The next thing I want to make sure that you know to do is book some excursions. I know they're expensive. I know. So book an excursion somehow. Book it through the cruise line. Book it through an independent travel company. There's always Viator. There's TripAdvisor. There are all these different companies that you can book excursions in advance. And then you can also book excursions with people who are waiting when you disembark the ship in the port that you're visiting. In every one of the Alaskan ports, there are always people standing there ready to take you on a really, truly wide variety of excursions. So to me, Alaska is not a place that you want to just going to say, oh, we'll just walk around the port. You can walk around the port, and it's beautiful, but you're going to miss part of Alaska by doing that. And so I thought I would tell you some of the things that you're not going to want to miss in each of the ports. When you go to Juneau, the main things really to see in Juneau is there are hikes that you can go on. Juneau is a rainforest, by the way, so it rains there more than not. But the whale watching is excellent there. They've got Auk Bay, which is a phenomenal location to go whale watching. And they've got the Mendenhall Glacier, which will truly be, if depending on your itinerary, but it might be the very first glacier that you experience in Alaska based on where you're going first. And so if you can find an excursion that does both of those, or at least one of them, I would definitely do that. If you're going to go look at whales, do it on a smaller boat if possible. Those bigger catamarans that put lots and lots of people in them, they don't go zipping around. If there's a whale over there, they'll sell, there's a whale over there, and you just hope there's one closer to the bigger boat. But if you take the smaller ones, they'll zip around. If there's a whale over there, they will go ahead and take you to see it. So it makes a really big difference in your experience there. But that's truly what you want to see and do in Juneau. There are lots of other things to see there, but that's a really good starting place, okay? Then we think of Skagway as another place. If you want to see just beautiful, beautiful scenery, take that White Pass Railway train up to the top. They'll take you up to the top and bring you back, or you can do an excursion that one direction they'll take you up on a bus, either up on a bus or back on a bus, and the other direction on the train. In Haines, Alaska there, which is just a short ferry ride from Skagway, there are amazing, amazing excursions there as well. You can go on like your airboat ride. Is it an airboat or a jet boat? It's different than the ones they have in the Everglades. They're not noisy. They just take you along and you'll see lots of wildlife. There are just so many things to do. So do something and go see. Skagway is absolutely beautiful. The next place, Ketchikan. If I had to walk around a port, it would probably be Ketchikan. In Ketchikan, if fishing is your thing, you have to go fishing. You just have to go while you're there. And they've got some other really fun excursions. But if you want to see the salmon run, and you're there in the late summertime, you can see them run. If you want to see the bears are often at Herring Cove, fishing, taking fish out of the stream, and that would be later as well in the summertime when the salmon are running. But it's a fun town to just walk around. So if you don't want to book an excursion in every port, Ketchikan is the one that I would just walk around, but they've got the misty fjords. That's a wonderful excursion to do there. So kind of keep that in mind. I have not been to Icy Strait Point yet. We had that on on our itinerary last year, and that got canceled, but wildlife is a really big deal there as well, and so it's a good place to book excursions to go see wildlife. And so those are the main parts that Princess goes to. Holland America goes to Sitka an awful lot. Sitka is a wonderful place to see wildlife. There's a shuttle that goes into town, and that town, Sitka, is really different than what you're going to see in Juneau, Skagway, and Ketchikan. So it is worth a visit sometime. It's also, when we were there last year, we did a rib boat ride. We went out, we saw whales, we saw lots of otters, and a lot of breathtaking scenery. So just make sure that where you're going, do a little bit of research, even if it's just on the cruise line's website, and pick some excursions that you're going to enjoy doing, or at least put in your budget money so that when you get off the ship, you can book a tour to see with someone who is located right there. Alrighty. I think that is so important. The very first time we went to Alaska, we didn't book any excursions, and because I was thinking it's already expensive enough to go. But then when we got to Juneau, we booked an excursion and went out to see the Mendenhall Glacier. In Skagway, we ended up riding the train, and in Ketchikan, we just walked around, and my sister and her husband went salmon fishing. So there are so many things to do, so don't miss out. And don't think that you're going to go to Alaska the first time, get the lay of the land, and then go back again another time to do those things, because you know what? None of us know if we're going to ever get to go back, quite frankly. And if we get to go back again, then how blessed we are, and we can enjoy it again or do something different the next time. But don't ever go somewhere thinking, oh, I'll do that next time, because what if next time doesn't come, and then you missed out on a wonderful experience. And so before I go any further, I'd like to remind you all to please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and if you appreciate my updates, please give this video a thumbs up. We talk about everything to do with cruising here, traveling to cruise, and it's an amazing community we've got, so we hope you join us. Another quick note: it is really, really, really important to do your research or have a good travel agent that will help you choose the cruise line that is going to give you the experience that you want when you go to Alaska. Different cruise lines are known for different things in going to Alaska. There's not a bad one. You're going to get to go, you're going to see beautiful scenery, you're going to have a wonderful time. That's not the problem. But along the way, though, there are things that different cruise lines do that others don't. The one that stands out the very most is going to Glacier Bay. Glacier Bay there is spectacular. It has, volumes have been written about Glacier Bay, and it is magnificent, and it is definitely worth a visit. So the cruise lines that go there are Princess and Holland America are the two that go there the most, and then Norwegian has some permits to go there as well, but not all of their cruises go there. None of the cruise lines, all of their cruises go there. But if you're wanting to go to Glacier Bay, those are the first two cruise lines I would look at. If you're someone that loves Norwegian, definitely go on Norwegian. Just make sure you get one of their itineraries that goes to Glacier Bay, okay? And then it's also going to vary a little bit with your onboard experience as far as how much of the Alaska enrichment that they offer. And so pay attention to that as well. That leads me to the fifth and final thing, and that is truly to participate in everything that has to do with Alaska when you're on board your cruise ship. You're going to have a lot of activities that are really similar to what you're going to see on other cruises. Sometimes you can get on a ship and go inside, and with some of the activities going on, you're going to see them on cruises in the Caribbean, in Europe, in Alaska, on the Mexican Riviera. A lot of things are going to be the same, but there are also going to be some amazing things that are different. One of the things I mentioned is that they're going to have a naturalist on board. The naturalist is going to do presentations in, like the theater. In Princess, they do it in the theater. Holland America, they do it in the theater, to tell you all about the wildlife, to tell you about the terrain, to tell you about all of these things to do with Alaska. It's really informative, and it really enriches your experience. It informs what you're looking at and makes a big difference to how much you enjoy where you're going. So participate in those things. Be out on the deck when the naturalist is out there helping everyone sight the wildlife. Don't miss the chance that when you're sailing somewhere where the scenery is beautiful, be there up on deck while they're talking about it, and soak it up and tuck it in your heart and bring it home with you. So I hope some of these things have really helped you to be really well prepared for Alaska. The other thing that I would say that really stands out to me the most And people say this, but the Alaska cruises, the cruises to Alaska, are often very casual. It's because people are wearing their more casual clothing generally. Think of like their jeans or their outdoor pants, weatherproof pants, to go on the excursions and to be outside while you're on board the ship because you need that jacket on and everything. That's what they're wearing when they're on board the ship. And so a lot of times that's what they're wearing to lunch in the main dining room. That's what you see often at dinner in the main dining room. And so keep in mind that things will be a little bit more casual as far as that goes. Although we've got a Let's Go family member who happens to be on the Enchanted Princess this week, and it's really hot. And people are saying that that's, the most casually dressed people that they have seen. So it's just different. When you go to Alaska, it's got a different feeling. There's a lot of excitement in the air about what you're going to see, what you're going to experience. At the end of a port day, it's really special to get together and talk about things because everybody shares what they have done that day and wants to tell each other what wildlife we saw or where we hiked or what glacier, whatever it is. So it's a magnificent journey, and I hope you have a wonderful time. Put your questions in the comments, and don't forget to put in the comments the things that you think will really help someone else. I really appreciate you all being here with me, and I'll see you all here again tomorrow. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.